welcome back to another episode of Biban. And today we're reading The Good Samaritan. By the way, this is reading next, so just the last phrase. A long time ago, there was a man named Jesus. He traveled from place to place teaching people about God and what it is like to live in God's way. Jesus often told stories to explain what he meant. One day, Jesus and his friends were speaking to people in the village. A man put up his hand and said, "I know God wants me to love my neighbor in the same way that I love myself. But who is my neighbor?" Jesus smiled and told everyone a story. One day, a Jewish man was walking between the town of Jerusalem and Jericho. The journey was not very far, and most of it was downhill, but the road was narrow and the winding was dangerous. Gangs of robbers hid in the hills above the road. Next page. The man had almost reached Jericho when he was attacked. Robbers took everything he had, even his clothes, and beat him up. They left him lying half dead on the side of the road. Wow, guys, that's bad. A priest from Jerusalem came along the road. He saw the man lying in the dirt, but didn't stop to help. Instead, he crossed to the other side of the road and continued on his journey. Soon another religious man from Jerusalem came down the road. Like the priest, he saw the body on the side of the road, and like the priest, he crossed to the other side and hurried on. It was getting pretty dark when a Samaritan, a person from the region of Samaria, came down the road. Jews and Samaritans hated each other. They always avoided each other, but the Samaritan hurried to the aid of the injured Jew. He helped him sit up and gave him water. He bandaged the man's wound. Then the Samaritan lifted him onto the donkey and took him to the nearby inn to care for him. The next day, the Samaritan said to the innkeeper, "Please look after that poor man until he gets better. I will come back later and pay whatever the cost is." At this point in his story, Jesus stopped. He asked those around him, "Who was a neighbor to that man lying in the dirt?" "The one who helped him," said the man, who had a question. "Jesus, it was a Samaritan." "That is right," Jesus replied, "and you have answered your own question. Your neighbor is not just your family and friends. Your neighbor is not just someone who looks and acts like you. Everyone is your neighbor. You should love yourself." Let's just do this. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbors as yourself. Luke 10:27. I hope you guys learned something from that. So let's do the quiz now. What town was the man walking to? What do you think he was? Let's say Jericho? Yes. How was the priest traveling? Maybe he was walking? Yes, correct. Where does Samaritans live? Samaria? Yes. Where did the Samaritan take the injured man? An inn, right? There were hospitals back in them days. Two people passed the injured man. How did they act? One was caring, one wasn't. The same way one of them noticed him. Correct. Which statement is true? The Samaritan man was lazy. The Samaritan man tried hard to care for the injured man. Samaritan man tried to avoid the injured man. Samaritan man did not want to spread his own ointment. Okay, that's one. Yeah. Which word does not describe the Samaritan? Yeah. What is Jesus' message? Neighbors get robbed. Only people from Samaritan are neighbor. Only some people are neighbors. Everyone's a neighbor. Which is another word for region? Oh, we got that wrong. In this story, what does poor man mean? What? How? Well, we got the 80 out of the 100, I guess. That's a good start. So, remember, please subscribe and remember this verse. Bye-bye. Bye for now.